6 to go.
Makes a mistake again. He missed a shift. He's going to spin to the inside turn. He's going to take the lead.
Eli Hinton just got used up there in the hairpin. He's going to pick up a win after a long winless streak and visit victory lane. And the whole field just needs to get himself slowed down, hop these curves, up and over. There's that cannon running a tad wide. Great restart here for the 2 car, but also for the 48. He crosses him over, down into turn 1, there goes the tail. Here comes the 20 alongside. The 13 car gets turned. He's going to spin in turn 2.
The start of a new season typically takes us to the high banks in Daytona Beach, Florida. But it's August, and because Florida is pretty much a muggy hot mess, we're starting off in Michigan this year. 2.0 miles of high-speed, wide racetrack. Pretty much a perfect place to start a season. Lots of fresh faces, new paint schemes, and a full grid sums up the start of the 2019 B season. And with a new sponsor, Mission 22, the Fuel Cup Series rockets towards the fall with just under 24 events to determine a champion. Can Anthony DeBarro defend against an onslaught of talented rookies? Find out every Tuesday, only on Sim TV. Finian, the Mission 22 Cup Series by Fuel starts right now. I'm really excited, and this is a really interesting way to start off a season at a 2-mile speedway at Michigan.
Yeah, although I feel like if you were to go into the garage area and ask all the drivers what about this track, would probably say it pretty much feels like Daytona with the newer package. And I'm sure, definitely, at least on the restarts and the initial runs that we're going to see from these guys, it's going to definitely feel a lot like Daytona.
We have over 40 cars entered for this race, and we'll see if all of them will get a chance to race. No one going home or any of that business. Everyone that enters is allowed to compete, and we'll probably see a lot of cars on the racetrack here in just a little bit. So I think we're going to drag in Don Runkle Jr. here in just a minute. But Finian, talking about... Actually, we do have Don already in the booth. Finian's already one step ahead of me. Don, welcome to the booth. Thank you again for coming on board with Mission 22 this season. I'd just like you to kind of talk about Mission 22. Tell us what it is, what it's about, and how people can help.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate you guys giving me this time. Yeah, Mission22.com. It's Mission 22 basically. It's a charity to help veterans with post-traumatic stress, find the support they need if they're dealing with depression, anxiety, issues that maybe vets and active duty military go through. The reason why it's called Mission 22 is because unfortunately, on average, 22 vets and active military commit suicide a day, and it's an alarming number. We really need to get that down to 0. And Mission 22 is a great charity for basically they help vets get the support and the help they need to be able to get through deployments, or maybe after they've done their duty somewhere and they maybe went to a war zone and they have to deal with certain traumas. Mission 22 helps those guys get the help that they need. And we have a lot of I know a lot of active duty military guys right now. Matter of fact, on the team that I drive for, PMS, we have a active duty Air Force guy right now, Chris Matthews, and he can't race with us tonight. Matter of fact, because he's too busy being a military guy. So we got to remember to show the support for those guys, and that's what Mission 22 is all about.
Don, we want to give you a huge thank you again for coming on board, bringing this awesome cause to the Fuel Cup Series. And good luck tonight. Of course, we're going to put up $10 every time Don Runkle Jr. finishes inside the top 5 in a Fuel Mission 22 Cup Series event. So, Don, good luck tonight. We'll see you out there. Thanks for talking.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys, and thanks for the broadcast. You guys do a great job. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Don. Have a good night. We'll see you later. So, of course, the link to donate to the Mission 22 cause is in the video description, along with other links and other information about Sim TV and other sponsors involved. So thank you so much to Don again for putting this up. So, in terms of the grid we have here tonight, on the left-hand side of the screen is the practice order as everyone's getting warmed up for tonight's event. I'm looking squarely at Timothy Johnson, Finian, maybe a driver that would have had a chance at a championship last year, but ended up getting taken out at Rockingham in the playoffs. So what do you think about this season and his chances to go back to the top of the board?
I mean, honestly, if he has as consistent of a year he had in the regular season, I think he should definitely make it into the playoffs. No doubt about it. Just he's been a very consistent driver. Was unfortunately taken out at Rockingham due to unfortunate circumstances. He could have easily been a contender for the championship at the end So I'm sure he's come into the season with vigor and just a renewed, just ready to go for another season. And hopefully he'll be up in the top and get a few wins. Actually, he actually did not get any wins last season. So we'll see if he can pick up a W this year.
Lots of new faces and lots of yellow stripes on the back of bumpers, Finian. We got rookie stripes on all the rookies for this season, and Brandon Key is one of those drivers. You can see on the back of his IK9 number 22 Camry, yellow stripes. There's a lot of those cars in the field tonight, and a very even spread between Toyotas, Chevrolets, and Fords, which is a cool thing to see here as we start the season. With 45 seconds left in practice, other drivers of note, Alec Martinez in the Grid Life sponsored Sim Motorsports Camry. He's joined by teammate Casey Lakatos in his number 50 Sim TV sponsored car. And of course, we're always rooting for them, but our unbiased support, of course, goes out to them. We're just kind of joking there a little bit. Anyway, moving on, other drivers in the field. Brian Chambliss from Outsider Racing League sitting in the back here of pit lane. He's waiting to get underway tonight in a different series. Dakota DiCienzo, one of the drivers in Indy Elite, coming over to drive the stock cars on Tuesdays, Finian. A lot of drivers in here that we expect to run well. And the problem is that there's 41 cars here. Not everyone can run well. Your predictions for tonight, who you got winning this race?
That's a really tough question. I'm trying to look through the grid. I mean, honestly, I think Timothy Johnson up there in the top fastest time. I think he's ready to get back in victory lane. It's been a long time for him in that 28, so I think he's going to be the one going to victory lane.
We discussed the package a lot in the seasons past, but I want to ask you about Michigan Speedway. If we take a look at our track conditions here tonight, 103 degrees on the racetrack as qualifying gets underway. Expectations on how this package is going to race, because I think we're going to have to lift only a couple laps into the run. And do you think we're going to see long green flag runs, or do you think we'll see a lot of aggressive restarts with some cautions in between?
Oh, well, looking at what these guys are struggling with in practice, a lot of guys are struggling with loose conditions coming off of the corners, mainly turn 2. And I think we're probably going to see a lot of quick yells just from guys breaking loose. I don't think it's even going to have. We're going to have a point or enough time to really get to where there's wrecks maybe involved. Guys being too aggressive. I think it's going to come from a lot of guys getting loose just due to how hot the track is and just with the setup the way it is. I think a lot of guys are going to struggle from that.
Casey Shu back this season in his number 4. We also have to give a shout out to the driver of the number 44, Tyler Hensley, was recently married this past weekend, on which Tyler and his new wife, a very happy and long life together. And that's always really exciting, Vinny. I was joking before the race that she must be a good one because he's here tonight. A lot of wives wouldn't necessarily let him race this soon after. Where's the honeymoon, Tyler? Let's get on that. Get to work. But we'll see if it's honeymoon phase for Tyler Hensley tonight. Trying to recover from a season that was without victory last season, and he's really trying to get on top of that podium this season, and I think he's got a strong car to do it. We'll see if the luck goes a little bit more his way as the field is out on racetrack for their qualifying effort. Thomas Bresci, the number 24. This was a championship contender last season. I think we'll see a lot more of that this year. First lap's in already, and it looks like Zach Buchanan's going to go to the top of the board. Travis McQuistion runs P2 for the moment. Evan Adams and his number 59 Ford EcoBoost Mustang. He's out on course, dropping down the order, trying to run a little bit better on lap number 2. Marshall Stanley, a new name and a new face to the Cup Series side of things, in 10th right now in his number 25 Mustang. Of course, more repeat drivers coming from seasons past. Derek Paulson in his number 60 Mustang, looking for some success this season. Buchanan is still at the top of the board, but where are those ORL guys? I'm looking at Martinez, I'm looking at Lakatos as drivers that could potentially steal away a pole as Riley Thompson goes quickest in his number 58.
Yeah, I'm waiting now for guys running their second lap. It's going to be Bresci at the moment on top with a 39.108.
Norm Pelletier in the 56. He's out on course in his Toyota Camry, sponsored by TRD this season. As we have about 2.5 minutes left in qualifying, and look who goes to the top of the board, Jeff Ward. He finished out the season really strong last season, Finian, but what about starting the season with the pace that he had at the end of last season? That is going to be a way to win a championship. If this 89 can score some victories early in the season, get himself locked into the Fuel Finals, I think he'll be one to watch for sure.
Yeah, and just finished second place shortly behind Anthony DeBarro. It's a close fight between both of them at the end of last season, but so far Ward on top of the charts, and he's probably going to hope that he can stay there. And yeah, like you say, he was off. He was a completely different driver in the second half of the season once the playoffs began or got close to it than he was in the first half. So he can continue that on. He should get into the playoffs and have a really good season out of him.
Matt Bell in the 77 starting his time lap, and he's up against the wall. And this is kind of super speedway style qualifying, wouldn't you say? Why would you do this over just sticking around the bottom of the racetrack?
Yeah, well, really, the way this package has changed these cars is a lot of momentum, especially in qualifying, where the gaps are so close between drivers. So you want to build up as much momentum for that second lap. The second lap is going to be the faster of the two. It's not going to be the first. The tires aren't going to wear anywhere near enough to make it slower. So want to take that first lap, just use it to try to build up momentum for the second lap. You see Matt Bell come down all the way towards the grass, trying to cut and just get as much speed out of this car as possible.
So his first lap was only 23rd quick, but now we're going to see him go more towards the middle of the racetrack. Not necessarily the bottom groove, because the banking actually does drop away a little bit. That bottom line isn't really the place you want to be. You want to be about a lane and a half up, so Matt Bell did that through 1 and 2. We'll watch him through 3 and 4 as well as he comes on through. About 26 of our 41 cars have made a qualifying effort. I think a lot of them will not qualify. I think they'll start from the back and treat this like a plate race, because that's pretty much how this is going to look for at least the first couple laps as Matt Bell comes out of turn 4 onto the apron. That's all fair game through the Geico restart zone across the line. Where's that 77 line up? For now, it's going to be P6. Great effort there for the 77 of Bell.
Yeah, good qualifying effort for him. Just looking at anyone else out on the track.
Casey Lakatos in his number 50 out on course, and Brian Chambliss as well in his number 45. Couple drivers from the Outsider Racing League, and that series will resume with us on August 31st on Saturday night. But for now, those drivers jumping over to the fuel side of things on Tuesday to throw their hat in the ring. And this is always really, I don't think Chambliss got a chance to put in a lap.
Nope.
But qualifying complete. This is a good chance for those ORL guys to put themselves up against some different competition. They've been racing the same group for a couple seasons, and this will throw a wrench in their previous successes. So the field gritting up and ready to go racing for 100 laps here tonight. I want to thank Mission 22 and Don Roco Jr. for coming on board, sponsoring the racing this season from flag to flag and from the season end, from season end to season start. So Coda DiCienzo in that 43. Remember, he was with us on Sunday night in Indy Elite, starting towards the rear of the field, but everyone gritting up, Finian. So we had a little discussion earlier about the number of yellows. I'm curious, when do you think the first one's going to come out? Do you think we're going to have an early one? Or do you think we're going to have a short green flag run before we get a yellow?
I'm going to say lap 5.
Okay. Again, my name is Kyle Heyer. I'm alongside Finney and DeCuna. We are SimTV. We've been around since February of 2018. And we've had a very exciting growth the past 18 or so months. And culminating in a trip to Atlanta in about a week and a half time.
That's coming up really quickly.
Yeah, it is, to the Grid Life Touring Cup commentating down there. We'll share those links and things when we have them so you can watch us commentate real racing, because that's what's coming up on our schedule the next week or week and a half or so. So take another look at our conditions. Finney, 100-degree track temp. Relatively new, smooth pavement, so it's going to be hot because it's still dark from when it was repaved a couple of years ago. I see another car up near the front, the 9 of Thomas George, that Milwaukee Tool sponsored car. He'll be starting in, looks like, 3rd place. A good effort there. All right, here's a look at your starting lineup on the front row tonight. Jeff Ward in that number 89, alongside Thomas Bresci in his number 24 Chevrolet Camaro. We just talked about the 9 of Thomas George starting in 3rd in his number 9 machine, and then Liam Quinn in the 04. And, of course, the club that these drivers are from on the bottom underneath the driver as we roll back to row number 3. Tyler Hensley, recently married, looking for more success tonight in that 44. Matt Bell starting 6th in his number 77 Camaro. 7th and 8th, Woody Mahan returning this season in his number 8. Riley Thompson in the 58 car. Row number 5, Matt Hollaba in the number 02 alongside our defending champion Anthony DeBarro, 10th quick here early in the going, and this is a driver, DeBarro had a lot of success throughout the season. Do you think he is capable of winning a race tonight, or do you think someone else is going to take the incumbent off the podium?
Yeah, well, again, these guys are so close with all these packages. It could really go to anyone because there's a lot of talent in this field, as we saw in last season. A lot of those guys have returned with some new faces in the crowd and new faces that we know are fast. So it's kind of up in the air of who's going to win this race. You honestly kind of have to ask me that question in about 60 or 70 laps to really kind of see who's got what it takes.
Well, the field is lining up down in turn number 3, and about half the field is still catching up because they're getting off the pit road a little lazy there. They're going to have to form up relatively quickly because we're going green this time through for 100 laps of Cup Series action, sponsored by Mission 22. If you'd like to donate to their cause, the link is in the description. And, of course, if you want to hear more about Mission 22, you can skip ahead to the start of the broadcast where we had Don Wilco Jr. on to explain it all as the field rolls out of turn 4. 40 cars going for victory in the first round of almost 24 this season. It's the first race of the season, and the green flag is in the air at Michigan.
Yeah, but everyone nice and tightly packed as they all race off into turn 1. This is going to get interesting. You see guys going to start to fan out, maybe start to go 3 wide here.
Oh, we're going to see 3, probably even 4 wide. To rocket off into the corner. That's a 0-4. Liam Quinn on the outside lane onto the back straightaway now. Side by side for second behind leader Jeff Ward in the 89. Duking and diving throughout the pack. But look at this. This looks like Daytona down into turn 3.
Yeah, I told you. It definitely looks like a lot of guys bump drafting on the back straightaways. Very close quarters here, which is scary because you have to take this. You can't just floor it through the corner. You have to, take it in a certain way. It's not just like Daytona. Whoa, wow. Yeah, Thomas George goes with the block, 3 wide for second.
Got to the lead and then through the block on the 89 as we come across for lap number 1. 3 wide for the top spot. George takes it away. Look at Bresci in the middle. And here comes DeBarro on the outside lane. 4, 5 wide on the outside in turn 2.
Whoa, Riley Thompson, whoa!
Upside down, barrel rolling. Caution out lap 2. And that was the first accident of the night. You saw the 58 get sideways in the middle of the corner, and I think we saw that coming. The challenging conditions on display early here, and took out a couple drivers with them. Let's take a look at this again from a different angle. That's that 58, Riley Thompson in the middle. Is that McQuistion in the 93? Yes, it is. Big hit for him. And the field scatters on the back straight trying to miss it all. But here it is in slow motion here. We'll get a better look at the 58 and his tumble. So he actually gets checked up by the 77. That's Matt Bell. And he slips and slides, heads up the racetrack right into the 93 of McQuistion, who ends up in the barrier himself. Ooh, Zach Buchanan got hooked as well. Big hit for him.
Yeah, I was looking. He went down below the 02 of Hollabaugh, and then I thought that he might have been clear of him and tried to merge back into the track, and unfortunately got collected.
Yeah, the 86 of John Borst also involved the 02. That car being driven tonight by Matt Hollabaugh, as you mentioned, but a lot of cars junked up in this one. And you see there's the 40 right in the middle of your screen there. That's Zach Buchanan. He gets hooked around with the 02, and they go hard into the fence. A couple drivers dodging and weaving that did a great job of missing it. Let's ride on board with Alec Martinez as he negotiates his way through this accident from starting at the back. And is almost coming to a dead stop to get through this, but caution out here early, and some takers on the pit lane here, Finian, but I think most of the front runners at least will stay out front.
Yeah, pretty much so. A lot of guys in the back, A with damage, and just guys in the back, thinking might as well just come and get at least some one-up over the guys up ahead, but definitely I think the track position is going to be pretty key, because once the tires start to wear out, I think passing is going to come at a premium.
Thomas George leads this race. How about that block on the 89? Is that too early to be throwing blocks like that? I mean, he got in front of the 89 very fairly and then chopped across his nose in front of about a 5-wide pack behind him. That was a pretty risky move there early, but it did pay off. He's leading the race.
Yeah, I was going to say it is a risky block because you can easily turn yourself in front of the field and have half the field involved in a wreck. So you got to be careful and plan those out carefully. And at least for that time, he did it to perfection.
Matt Bell in that 77 narrowly missed getting in that accident. He was right in front of the 58 of Riley Thompson when he slipped. Managed to get through, so his sixth place qualifying effort will leave him there for now. Anthony DeBarro in 8th. He started in 10th, so he's up 2 spots. already. He was really aggressive. He was up against the wall in the first lap or two of the race, already trying to find ways around other people. So he's aggressive early. I don't think there's anything that's going to slow him down in that Coors Light 27 Camry. We'll see if he can make a better advance when we catch the restart here shortly. Ryan Chambliss in 18th place. He started 30th. So a lot of positions being gained early by those that elected to stay out. The top 20 drivers all stayed out of the racetrack from 21st on back, all came to pit lane. Lights are out of the pace car. We'll try this again here, Finian. But up at the front, they were taking no prisoners. That's 100-lap race. I think we got to get settled in here, get the field stretched out, and then, well, I think we'll get a pretty decent green flag run.
Yeah, and I noticed, too, on that last wreck, which I believe started with Riley Thompson, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Yeah, so when I was looking at him, the way he had his car, he checked up for a driver up ahead, just braked a little bit and jiggled the wheel. And that seemed enough to upset the car. And if you remember, at the three-wide race at Daytona, we saw a similar thing where these guys were just so on edge if they made any correction mid-corner, it pretty much resulted in a wreck. So looks like we're in for something here. So yeah, as you said, if we get once we get these guys spread out a little bit, I think we'll be in for a good race. But when they're in such a big pack like this and guys trying to make corrections mid-corner, I think that's where we might see a lot of wrecks happen.
I think you tend to see cars tighten up as the run goes on and the tires wear out. So if we can just get a few laps in and let the front tires burn off, it'll create understeer and it'll stabilize the cars, especially as the fuel burns off. So I think we're going to see that the handling at least improve a little bit once we get a couple green flag laps under our belts. The pace car is going to peel off again here out of turn number 4, and we'll turn them back loose again, put them in the hands of the flagman who's got that yellow flag in hand, but it's going to change to a green. And we're 5 laps complete here at Michigan, but we've got 95 to go. George Hensley on the front row. Green flag back in the air.
Yep, and a great start for Thomas George. He sets off and is going to be clear as they head off hole into turn 1. Hensley and Bresci teammates fighting side by side for second.
Feel much more spread out this time through. There's still some 2 and 3 wide throughout the pack, but everyone looking to find racing room. But Bresci takes a hard left down to the inside on the back straightaway. He's going to try to go to the top spot to the inside of the 9.
Yeah, leaders picking off right where they left off. We also got the 77 of Matt Bell in behind Bresci trying to take the lead.
Matt Bell restarted 6th. He's up to 2nd in 3 turns. A really impressive drive on the restart for the 77. Woody Mahan sits 3rd, and look at the 24 all the way down to the grass to try to protect that spot.
Yeah, also, Anthony Nabarro sitting in 5th. He looks really racy. You saw him really make a big move on the outside. Will he do the same with Thomas George?
Matt Bell, look at them carry that momentum. He's slipping, sliding right in front of the 9. Check up out of turn 2. Everyone's scattering 3, 4 wide as everyone backs up. This is going to create a logjam mid-pack. And there goes the 04, Liam Quinn, and the 9 car around as well. Norm Pelletier caught up in it. Moore as well. The 9 sliding back across the racetrack. And George out. And that was a long wreck from the middle of turn 1 and 2 all the way almost to the entry of turn 3. And that 9 car pretty well destroyed. We also saw the 04 Liam Quinn get caught up in that, as well as Norm Pelletier. Pelletier's car is destroyed. Let's go back and look at how this started, because it was with the 77 Matt Bell. So he's going to get checked up here. And the 9 gets all sideways, and the 04 Quinn, he's gonna gets shoved into with the 6.
Yeah, and there's a good reason for that if you want to take a look inside the Carl Paulson.
The 60 car. It's going to take me a second to find this. This is a tall, 8th place. Tall group of people. So we're riding on board with Derek Paulson, who's in the 60. He's following Liam Quinn in the 04, so you're going to be able to see him follow this car through 1 and 2, and then when they come off of turn 2, you can't see anything.
Yeah, he really can't see anything. Well, all he just sees is Quinn check up, and then he has no time to react because he can't see anything up ahead. So it's just an unfortunate scenario considering how close these guys are. They just can't really see what's happening just a few car lengths ahead because they're so close.
Yeah, that's the frustrating thing for the 9 is that they had that, I thought they had that all avoided, and then just, of course, once that wreck starts, it's hard to make it stop. Of course, Quinn and Pelletier just a big lift to the inside. But Jared Matthew as well in the 52 got caught up in it. The 9 car almost had it locked down, and we're going to get a better look at this here. But Thomas George almost had the car locked down, then it slid back across the racetrack after he had spun it out. And that last slide up across the racetrack is really what kills, because everyone assumes Rex going to make it to the apron, and he's letting the car kind of free roll here back across the racetrack. And unfortunately for the 43, Dakota DiCienzo, he didn't get it locked down in time. 2 cautions slowing the progress here early. I think everyone up front going to pull the same move. Top 6 have stayed out. A lot of other drivers pitting from there on back. Mostly 4-tire stops. I don't see anyone trying anything different. But it's been kind of a chaotic mix up at the front. And it definitely looks like everyone's really on edge right now. The track temp continues to fall, which is going to help, but I think you really need to be careful and just kind of let everything run its course for a couple laps before you get aggressive. Alec Martinez back on pit lane in the 54. No damage to him so far. Casey Lakatos also playing the strategy as well, just staying in the back until things clear out. And now we got some takers to the pit lane. Bressi, Mahan, and the rest of the field coming on down.
Actually, it was Mahan who stayed out.
Oh. So he did. Okay, so the strategies have split up a little bit. So some of the top 3 on the racetrack now have not pit at all yet. Marshall Stanley runs 4th in that yellow number 25. He has pit. So everyone from 4th on back has stopped. And the top 3 are on tires. We'll check out how long they've been out there for about 10 laps. They've been there since the start of the race. So what do you think? I mean, I think tires are going to matter at least a little bit after a couple laps.
Yeah, at this point, like I would say at the 1 restart, maybe not. But I mean, you already got 2 heat cycles gone through them, and you know the way considering these guys are so on edge as is with fresh rubber, you might want some fresher tires just to be safe. You know, just get through the first half of this race. So I don't know. We'll have to see how this plays out.
So far, 2 cautions have slowed the progress of the race. We're 10% complete already, lap 10 of 100, and this race is ticking by relatively quickly considering we've only had really yellow flag laps so far. Here's a look at the race so far. 5 of our 10 laps have been for a caution flag. We've had 2 lead changes, which that is lead changes at the line. I expect if we get some green flag running in, that lead changes number will probably be somewhere between 20 and 30 if we were to go green to the end here. It's going to be wild up front, and we've had 2 yellows so far. So we should get the 1 to green this time through. There's Marshall Stanley, who started 22nd. He's up 18 spots from his starting position. So that 25 car playing some strategy here early and has got himself in a good position out of the Hornet's Nest, at least hopefully, for the restart.
Yeah, and just looking at the list of drivers who are out, it looks like Riley Thompson, Travis McQuistion, and Thomas George have called it a day. Everyone else is still on the track. Zach Buchanan is the only car lap down.
Thomas Bressi is going to restart in about 21st place in that number 24 or 19th.
Honestly, I would say that's kind of safe because so far both the wrecks have been near the front of the field. So
you're right about that. I just do worry about issues making their way towards the back and having cars sliding around and such. So I'm liking the Lakatos strategy of staying at the rear. And Lakatos,
that's what I would be doing at this point, honestly. Yeah, just staying at the rear because clearly there's going to be some wrecks happening through this first half. So just want to stay out of the clear, and then if it goes green, just work your way up through the field in the green flag run.
A lot of cars still left in the race here. 37 left running to be exact. We've lost 3 in the first 10 laps. But green flag times are coming, and Woody Mahan's going to lead us to the green flag in that black number 8 Camaro. Then that's Vic Bloom on the outside in his number 99, coming over from the truck series that Fuel ran over in the spring, rather. So some yellow rookie stripes towards the front of the field. But Woody Mahan's going to lead us back to the green flag as it drops. Lap number 12 starting. Got a long way to go.
Yep, green flag back in the air. Mahan leading them down. Gonna have to keep an eye on him, Vic Bloom, and Justin Rodden, as DeBarro is already giving a shove to that 27, or sorry, to the 0-1 down at turn 1.
Yeah, DeBarro not waiting around. He's playing the strategy to keep himself at the front of the field where he is the most dangerous. Single filed out for the top 3 as we make our way off of turn number 2 and look at Rodden diving to the inside lane, that Harley-Davidson Camaro, and DeBarro looking really racy from 3rd.
Yeah, DeBarro sneaking in behind Rodden, just trying to ride it through, get through these guys on older tires, and there you see him go a lane below. He's got more maneuverability than 0-1 at the moment.
Looks like he does for sure. Is DeBarro's going to take the top spot away? Is he going to lead at the line? Yes, but just by that much. Look at the 28 of Timothy Johnson, who's quickest in practice. He's on the inside lane now in 3rd. 3 wide for 3rd place behind him.
Yeah, therefore now going to the outside of Timothy Johnson. He wants to throw his hat into the ring, although he's going to be held up by Mahan on the outside. Can he cut and cross the 28?
27, 8, 89, your top 3. Down the back straightaway, there's a couple more cars jumping into the picture. There's that 32 of Shane Ewing driving a Toyota Camry tonight in that blue car in the middle of the racetrack. Working his way up towards the front of the field. The 25 is Marshall Stanley's way to the outside lane. And Carl Schaff in the number 3. Ooh, car in the fence. That's Vic Bloom. A little bit of a right side scrape out of turn 4. But he'll continue. Don Runkle Jr. up to 17th in his Mission 22-00. Working the outside lane. Liam Quinn, who was caught up in one of those incidents, trying to recover. There we go. So far, so good on this restart. Some shuffling towards the front, but it's all Anthony DeBarro and Woody Mahan. Here comes Ward trying to get back the lead back in turn number 3.
Yeah, Mahan has still stayed up in the front of the field. He hasn't dropped back at all. Ward's trying to find a way around him, as well as Timothy Johnson.
Ward's going to jump down to the white line, but he will not go below it. There is no out of bounds here at Michigan, but if you go below that white line, you better expect to blend back up without incident. And look at the 89 looking again to the bottom of the racetrack down in turn number 1. Behind him, I see another car. That's Brandon Keisha, the 22, the IK9 number 22 car. He's up inside the top 10 now looking for a spot. Look at them door to door at the front of the field.
Yeah, DeBarro just squeezes it into the outside of Mahan. There was barely a gap there, but he stuck his nose and will take the lead off into turn 3.
Close racing up at the front. Lap number 15 about to be completed out of turn 4. Mahan trying to get the lead back from DeBarro. And remember, he's on 15-lap-old tires. The drivers around him all on fresh Goodyears, but he's trying to make it stick. Running second right now. Throughout the field, lots of battling going on. There's the Sim Motorsports cars, Lakatos and Alec Martinez running 27th, 28th, just trying to stay out of the fray until a little later. But for the top spot, DeBarro's got it. And here comes Johnson to the outside lane.
Johnson now trying the outside. Let's see if he can get a good enough run on that outside lane. Doesn't seem like that inside's a little bit better off of turn 4.
Couple laps
and he's going to get some draft off of DeBarro.
Couple laps under our belt here. It should make the cars a little bit more drivable, a little less squirrely as the pressures rise and the grip builds. And Johnson on the outside, Mahan on the inside, both trying to chase down DeBarro. Justin Guthrie in the 18. That's that Interstate Batteries car with a big run on the outside of Vic Bloom on the back straight, closing in on the 32 of Ewing. Back throughout the field. Everyone pretty much single filed out, taking their time here, Finian. It's good to see. But at the top of the field, you wouldn't think that they're waiting around for much. They're battling pretty hard, but it does seem like the aero push starting to play an effect here after a couple laps on the tires.
Yeah, indeed. But one guy who hasn't really slowed down since the restart is Thomas Brusty. Restarted in 19th all the way up into 10th so far, going after another position as he goes to the inside of Vic Bloom.
Big run. Look at that run on the inside of turn 2. He's going to carry some speed onto the back straight, dump into the draft of the 18. Now picked up Brandon Keys to the rookie stripes up the road. How much do the rookie stripes affect your perception of the drivers around you, Finian? Are you willing to work with the yellow stripes, or are you going to try to just drive around them?
Yeah, well, if it was in real life NASCAR where they're actually, legitimately rookies, I would say, that would definitely change it. But here, really all the yellow stripe, speaking of yellow.
Wendell Lowe in the 23 is spun around. Brent Jones down on pit lane with damage.
Yeah, this started in turn 3 for that 23 car.
Oh, more contact. The 52 gets clobbered at the end of that there. They're all rolling very slowly. Let's scroll on back and find out what happened. So Wendell Lowe was, he was just loose in turn 4 all by himself, and then corrected and slid up into the racetrack right in front of Brian Chambliss. Nothing he could do. And there was another incident behind. I'm trying to figure out what car that was. Another black car.
Should definitely, when you get the chance, right on board with the 43. You got a fantastic view of that last incident.
Alright, we're on board to go to DiCienzo. Here's his view. Oh, that's a couple cars down on the apron already sliding. And whoa, right through the grass to miss it. There's the 0-2 getting around it as well, but only a 2 or 3 car incident means that we'll re-rack them, restack them, try this again. But Casey Lakatos, we've seen this strategy before, Finian. It's not just to get himself airtime, it's for points. And this is a good way to get them. So about a fifth of the way complete with this race, and this 50 car, so he's done this in Outsider Racing League before. What he'll do is he'll just stay out, pick up a point, and come to pit road, and he'll do this every single race. And the amount of points that he racks up by the end of the season, usually enough to put him nearly in championship contention. So Lakatos doesn't always race super hard, but he does race super smart. And this number 50 Camry picking up points early in the season.
Yeah, definitely Lakatos is known for playing the points game. I pretty much qualified him for the playoffs in the Outsider Racing League, so can't see it not doing the same for him in this league. So we'll see where he ends up come season's end. But definitely, it's kind of early to comment on his pace, but has been keeping out of the wrecks, and I think that's really a big thing, especially as the numbers start to dwindle.
So already we've had 20 laps, 5 lead changes at the front of the field. It's been the 27 of DeBarro that's been the most dominant. But Timothy Johnson is quietly lurking in what will restart as second place. So I'm liking this 28 car. You picked him earlier to win the race. I like that car as well. But I think DeBarro is going to be really hard to beat. I'm just concerned about the drivers towards the rear of the field. I'm thinking drivers like Alec Martinez in that 54. We know he's fast enough to potentially win this race. He does have some damage on that car. Didn't see where he picked that up. But this 54 was second in practice. He's quick, but I just don't see him picking all the way through 40 cars at the end of the race to win. I don't know if it's going to be easy to tell when is the right time to go and charge away through the pack.
Yeah, I think really that time to go is just going to be kind of a Hail Mary, and you just got to guess when the green flag run is going to come, because that almost was that moment, right, that last green flag run. We were going for quite a bit. It seemed like everyone was sorted out. Just one car breaking loose brought out that caution. So we'll have to see on this restart. I think this will be a little bit more hectic. I think part of the reason that last caution was so calm was the fact that a lot of the faster guys were back in the pack with the way the way everyone pit. So there wasn't a lot of chaos up in the front. Those guys kind of migrated back to the front, so it might be a little bit chaotic again.
21 laps complete of 100 here in the first round of the 2019 B Mission 22 Cup Series, the Fuel Racing League. And it's been a wild one so far. We've seen incredible racing up at the front, but in short bursts, as the track conditions very treacherous tonight in turns 1 and 2, and now apparently in 3 and 4. We haven't seen drivers really get loose over there yet, but it does seem like it's challenging. Track temp risen back up almost to 100 degrees, so it's pretty toasty out there, and not certainly not getting any easier. The cloud now coming over the racetrack. That's awesome. I love how that looks, as we should get the lights out of the pace car this time through.
These guys want the cloud to stay over the track, at least for a little bit, to cool it back down, just to give them a little bit more drivability.
Don Ronco Jr., so far so good. Remember, he made the Fuel Finals last season, played some strategy at California, and managed to sneak out a victory. I think this 00's got more than just a strategy win in him this season. I think if he gets the right combination of luck and the right combination of circumstances, this 00 could be another Fuel Finals contender this season. So keep an eye on this car, because he's not a guy that, he self-admittedly will not necessarily run top 3 every week, but he'll throw something at the wall and see if it sticks. And that's dangerous to drivers that are worried about points.
Yeah, it really is, especially with the win and you get in system too. So when you just kind of throw anything, especially for a driver like him, and you don't really have much to lose you're in stuck midfield, you just want to throw something at the wall as far as strategy late in the race. It's exactly what he did California and got him a win. So we'll see if he has anything else up his sleeve this season, because he's definitely shown potential for playing a good strategy game.
Justin Rodden in this 0-1. Last season didn't really have a whole lot of success, but starting off the first 20 laps of the 2019 B season, running inside the top 10. So a good run here early for Rodden. Brandon Key as well, we documented his climb forward. Jeff Ward, he started on pole tonight. We'll see if he can climb back atop the podium for the end of the race. Coming back to the restart here, Casey Lakatos is going to stay on the racetrack. We thought he was going to come to pit road. Nope, he's going to stay out. We'll see how this pans out for the 50 car on the restart. Pace car pulls off. Lakatos to borrow your front row. And a lot of single file cars there at the back. Green flag back in the air. Lap 23 at Michigan. A great launch by the 50. He just took off.
Yeah, indeed he did. We'll see if he can stay there. He's got a lot of quick butt guys in behind him. They're going to be hounding all over them, as we saw in the last restart, as DeBarro and Johnson trying to sort themselves out.
Yeah, Johnson aggressive to the bottom of the racetrack, but this is where Lakatos is going to get eaten up on the back straightaway after everyone's gone through the corner. Some shuffling around. But Lakatos going to dive to the inside, give DeBarro the outside lane as they enter turn 3, and Johnson following the 50 through turn 3.
Yeah, and looks like Lakatos is not up to pace with these guys as far as the tires are concerned. They're just going all around him. Lakatos stuck in the middle. Here comes Ward also on the outside with Mahan.
Yeah, generating some really massive runs on the straightaway. Lakatos dives in line behind the 28, but just doesn't have the pace to stay here. Shane Ewing in the 32 to the outside, right behind pole sitter Jeff Ward. The 50 dropping back quickly. 15 lap old tires, not the way to go. And the yellow stripes on the 50. Oh yeah, he's going to dive out of the way. So he's led his laps. He's going to dive to the back and stay out of the way. This is a smart move here for the 50 car. Ooh, Ward was all sorts of sideways heading off into turn 3, but he got the car to rotate down into the corner.
Yeah, so
he got right to the back of the gate of Woody Mahan.
Yeah, DeBarro is also a little bit loose in the middle of the corner too, so that will ruin some of his momentum as he's trying to sneak in behind Ward now. And these guys kind of continuing where they left off.
I think these top 3 have been here for most of the race. I don't think they're going to go very far as long as they don't have an incident tonight. Behind Ward, DeBarro, they haven't been in that order all evening, but they certainly have been there. And keep an eye on that 24. He's lurking, Finney, and he looks really, really good.
Yeah, was one of the only Championship 4 that did not have a win last season. I'm sure he wants to definitely change that this time around. And the way he's been just charging up through the field, definitely looks like he's hungry for a W tonight.
DeBarro is going to wrestle lead away from Mahan in turns 3 and 4. It's going to be a drag race to the start-finish line. Who's going to get there first? DeBarro by a fender. And 3 wide behind him.
Battle.
Wow.
Yeah, big battle midfield.
Norm Pelletier in here, the 18 of Justin Guthrie. Liam Quinn, Marshall Stanley, Vic Bloom, all in this fight. Oh, DeBarro dropping down. He slipped.
Oh, yeah.
Slipped big time. Has some left front damage on that car as well. And from the lead back to about 18th spot is where he's going to settle out. He had contact maybe with the 24 of Bresci.
He did.
Here's a look. Oh, just chased up the racetrack. Bresci tried to miss him. Bresci's going to get away with not a whole lot of damage, but scary moment there at the front of the field.
Yeah, I'm wondering if I saw Mahan kind of close up in on the 27s right where. I wonder if that's what got the 27 loose.
These cars are really aerodynamically sensitive, so I can see that happening. Not only is there aero push, but you can kind of manipulate the drivers around you with the aerodynamics off the car. That has singled out a lot of the front pack, though, although Bresci looking for 5th on the inside of Brandon Key.
Yeah, he didn't. Bresci too got a decent lick on the right side of his car. It should be fine.
Car charging for the field right now is Alex Martinez in the number 54. Had some damage on the left front of that vehicle. Again, not sure where it came from, but running 19th on it right now on the inside of the 3. That's Carl Schaff. Of course, Martinez started in 27th. Up to 19th. That big battle up at the front of the field has kind of subsided as Jeff Ward has taken the lead away. Mahan sits 2nd, Timothy Johnston 3rd, but Bresci still putting pressure on the drivers in front. I think that 24 car, at least to me, has looked the best in traffic of anybody.
Yeah, and in behind him, here comes his teammate Tyler Hensley. I'm not sure if he's trying to help the 24. Oh, it looks like he's trying to give a little bit of support to him and just kind of ride him behind, not cause any issues. But I also see some guys, Shane Ewing having a great run inside the top 5.
Bressy's just so able to turn the car down to the bottom of the racetrack. But he's going to lose some speed on exit here. He'll slide up in front of teammate Hensley. There comes a push. Maybe no. Hensley's going to dive to the inside, and Bressy will try to roll the outside through 3 and 4.
Yeah, still not entirely clear if that damage is hurting him. It's kind of hard to tell. It doesn't look like a whole lot of damage, but again, like we said earlier, these cars are so aerodynamically sensitive. That right side, the way it is, could hurt him a lot more than we think.
Yeah, it's not a great place to have damage, but it doesn't really seem like it's affecting a lot, as you said. Justin Guthrie in the 18, following the 25 of Marshall Stanley. And very distinct packs forming up here early, as we're almost a third of the way through this race, our longest green flag run we've had. Everyone may be settling in for the long haul here.
Yeah, now Justin Rodney pulled some strategy earlier. Started in 34th, is up in 8th. And it's pretty much remained in the top 10 since he pulled that strategy call earlier in the race.
Wiggle by Ewing in front of Bressy, and Bressy, whoa, Hensley almost got into them. The teammates almost getting together out of turn 4. 3 wide for a moment. We saw the 32 wiggling and sliding, and Bressy turned to avoid it. The front, though, it's still Jeff Ward leading this race, a multi-race winner from last season. Whoa, the 22 of Brandon Key sideways out of turn 2. But anyway, Jeff Ward, multi-time winner last season, went into the last race of the season at Homestead thinking he probably could have won the championship. He probably could have, but things didn't work out that way. Look at Liam Quinn.
Oh, Thomas Bressy with a big wiggle out of turn 4.
Oh, man.
He's gonna save it, but yeah, that was close for him. So these guys starting to get loose again.
I was expecting the cars to kind of get understeer as the run went on, but we're not really seeing that. There's a big fight back here around 20th place. Alec Martinez in 18th leading this fight, and there is teammate Casey Lakatos sitting 22nd after restarting first. So definitely distinct packs forming up, and a long green flag run potentially imminent as long as we can have everyone hang on to their spots. But look at this. The top group all singled out. Now, how does the car race now that you're not in traffic fitting? I think that arrow push is going to get a lot more evident.
Honestly, I think that these guys might prefer to be in single file line. I think that's why we're seeing them doing that. I think with them side by side, I feel like it's doing more damage to the car than directly being in behind someone. Of course, there's going to be quite a bit of that arrow wash, but if anything, whoa, I see Tyler Hensley very loose off the corner.
Wow. That was about 7 times as sideways out of turn 2. Will Roberts up to 17th. There's that second pack. It's teammates Martinez and Lakatos fighting for 18th. A lot of single filed cars after that. So everyone has found their own room to race, but I'm watching that group from second on back to about 8th or 9th. They look pretty slippery out there.
Yeah, and a lot of the slipping and sliding is allowed to bar to catch back up to this leading pack. It's caught up to Brandon Key for 8th place.
Get Navarro again with that big slide off turn 2 a couple laps ago. Trying to recover. He might try middle 3 wide here on the exit of 2. That's Quinn on the outside and Key on the inside. For the top spot, Ward and Johnson. Line astern through 3 and 4. And they picked a very specific groove. You see those car-marked lanes. There's about 5 of them at Michigan, and they're in the second one up from the bottom. That middle groove seems to be the place to be. Look at Shane Ewing all the way down to the apron on the front straight, trying to make the track a little shorter and get to the inside of Mahan.
Yeah, notice with the leaders too, they definitely seem a lot more stable than the guys behind them for the most part. So I think definitely picking one of the better gears on the track, at least just to keep the car from sliding loose off the corner.
Navarro back into 7th place. Let's check on back a little farther. Kind of a scattered field there is Marshall Stanley. He's got some damage. Is that recent?
Oh, Norman Pelletier went flying off of his nose.
He's down on the apron on the back straight. Crash for Pelletier. It's been the second time he's been in the wall. He was sideways, and that's where 25 got checked up. But Norm got it locked down and avoided crashing. Excellent job there, actually. That could have been a lot worse. But Norm's back in 31st. Still a smoke cloud on the backstretch. Mahan almost got in the fence out of turn 2. He's pushing the issue.
Yeah, and Hensley's also slow on the apron. I think he had another little slide off of turn 2.
Okay, here's a look from inside the gyro cam. Watch the hands of Hensley through turns 1 and 2. So, the notion that these cars have too much downforce? Well, maybe so, but I think drivers probably want more right now.
Yeah, I think they definitely want more downforce. Yeah, and I guess this the way the setup is too a little bit, combined with the track temperature also being on the warmer side of things, is played into this race, just being the way it is with these guys slipping and sliding all over the track.
Don Ronco Jr., Carl Schaff running 24th and 25th. There's Tyler Dolger in the 88. And he has not had the luckiest of seasons in pass with fuel, running 26th right now. Not a scratch on that car, but certainly might like to have a pit stop to get that car in the right direction. Hensley and Brennan Key swapping spots. Hensley up to 8th. Well, Woody Mahan, slow.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what happened to him. Oh, he's just getting back up to speed after what happened to him on the back straightaway.
Okay, so he's still just off the pace. He's still way off the pace, though. And Vic Bloom, Justin Guthrie closing from behind, and the teammates, Lacatus and Martinez, they're slowly picking their way through the field, and they're starting to look pretty fast right now, Finney. And last time through, they were all quicker than the leaders.
Yeah, I think they're displaying it patient in the back. Now is their time to kind of shine and slowly work their way up, and this will definitely help them, especially as long as there isn't a caution. You can kind of just pick through the guys who are struggling on grip, as you see the 18 Justin Guthrie a little bit sideways off of 4. I think Dale Jr. would love this race. A lot of people sliding around.
Slide job. Working lap 39 of 100. The race has gone green for a pretty significant amount of time now. And taking a look at the stint here, it looks about 20 lap run here, which is the longest we've had so far tonight. As Jeff Ward has led the latest part of this race, and looks like Johnson is really struggling to get back to the 89's bumper, so it looks difficult to pass once he gets strung out like this.
Yeah, we've always seen that the leader is one of the hardest cars to pass on the track because there's not really any aero that the leading cars in front of them to kind of slow him down. So Johnson just up to his own devices to try to make a pass here. He's got to try different lanes, and it just doesn't seem to be working out because Ward's taking probably one of the best lines on the track at the moment.
Lacatus and Martinez just passed about 3 or 4 cars in that lap alone. They're up to 13th and 14th. And look at how fast they're flying through this field, Finney. And I don't know where this speed is coming from, but they're still lapping as fast as the leaders.
Yeah, I think just a lot of patience and just not wearing out their tires. They're doing a lot better than the guys around them.
Well, my thing is Lacatus has 12 lap older tires than everyone else right now. So I don't know how he's doing this, but it's working, and they're flying.
Whoa, big car sliding out of... Oh, it's Mahan. He's sliding out of turn 4. He's going to spin back up into the track. This should
tries to save it. Oh, he's going to loop it, and that should be a yellow. It's not going to be.
Oh, no, it's not.
As he spins to pit lane. Great job there by Mahan to get it blown down.
Fantastic car control.
They got away from him, and he was fighting that for the entire corner.
He did a great job of locking the car down at the right times, or release it at the right times to keep it out of the racing line.
Well, he might as well come down and get tires and fuel put in it, and kind of, oh, he misses pit box though. But change of strategy for the 8 car, an impromptu pit stop. Still trying to get that car lined up. There finally goes up on the jacks. For the lead though, Johnson's caught Ward.
Yeah, he's definitely he's caught up to him. Definitely in the corners, using the draft to his advantage on the straightaways. Once he gets to the corner, it's just pure air wash, and I can almost see Johnson's frustration. Just can't really do much with Ward. I think if anything, he's gonna have to wait to pit stop to try to get him on strategy. Maybe come down a lap earlier.
Bresci on the back of Liam Quinn. This is for 5th. And we're watching how Bresci is trying to set up this 0-4. Oh, a big slip, a slide. Wow, look at him chasing that car, wiggling.
Yeah, for both of them, they're both sliding out of turn 4. Bresci a little bit worse though.
Marshall Stanley has been dropping backwards since the restart, down in 17th place now. But Casey Lacatus has just cracked the top 10 in his number 50 on 12 lap older tires in the field. Alec Martinez in the 54 is trying to chase him down too.
Yeah, just want to point out, this is not because there are drivers that we're pointing them out. They're just on a different level compared to the guys that they're racing on. They're running almost in 20th position 10 laps to go, and now they're just cutting through the field inside the top 10 and still gaining a few spots as they're making passes on Brandon Key and Justin Ron.
It's just slow and methodical. Oh no, the 22!
No!
Right into the fence. That's in turns 3 and 4, and he slides down to the apron. We stay green, but he's night over.
Have a look at that from Martinez's point of view.
That was about as close as he can get, folks. Wow. Oh, was there contact? There might have been a slight nudge there as the 22 came down the racetrack.
Yeah, from my end, it's showing not showing any damage, so he actually just narrowly avoided him. If anything, yeah, it was a small little nudge, but nothing to give him damage.
We stay green, closing in on halfway. Martinez and Lakatos up to 8th and 9th. And for the top spot, Johnson's still stuck behind Ward. Maybe Johnson's just kind of taking off laps here, maybe not launching an assault. But you know who is launching an assault? DeBarro. 39.4 last time through. 0.3 faster than our leaders and closing fast.
Yeah, this is no surprise here. I think these are the three, if, you know, going into the season, just not seeing how anyone ran before, I think you and me would probably pick these three guys for being some of the top dogs in the series, competing week in, week out for this season, especially not having Greg Evans and Scott Eckrich on the roster this year, or at least in this race.
And you can tell, I mean, look at them, they're 1.5 seconds up the road from any other drivers. That top three is just in a league of their own. As Martinez and Lakatos is actually hitting pit lane, and maybe a scheduled stop for the 50.
Yeah, I would think so. I haven't seen anyone else really hit pit road yet, so I think this might be because, remember, Lakatos did stay out, so I think this might be. I think that might come back to bite him. We'll have to see how this all plays out.
Car slow on the apron. I think that's the 59 of Evan Adams. He's 3 laps down. And slow on the apron, he's coming to pit lane. So Lakatos making his pit stop, as well as Steve Herring. So this is starting some green flag pit stop sequences for the guys that pitted a little earlier than the leaders. Up front, still Ward, Johnson, DeBarro, then 2 seconds back to Shane Ewing, and Thomas Bressi has gotten around Liam Quinn, and Bressi's also running some really good lap times as well.
Ooh, Norman Pelletier sliding off turn 4.
Oh, no, that's going to be a yellow, and that's... Oh, no, it's not going to be a yellow. How did that... I won't ask questions.
Oh, into the wall. That's unfortunate.
There it is, caution out.
There is caution.
So, this Lakatos is now a lap down. That throws away that strategy for the 50. Of course, our 4th yellow of the night. Lap number 48, right at the halfway point of the race. And most of the field's happy to see that. The only driver not happy is Casey Lakatos. And watching Pelletier, he almost had it saved.
Actually, Lakatos, I think he might be getting the wave around here.
Oh, he might be the free pass car, actually.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, that's what I meant, the free pass, because Pelletier was the driver set to receive that. However, he was the caution, so it goes to the next car in line. That should be the 50.
Interesting. Okay, so that saves Lakatos' strategy, and we'll see how this kind of pans out for him. But for the leaders, I think we expect everybody on pit lane.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a busy place down here. 4 tires and gas. And we've run about 30 laps or so, about 28 laps. So I think it's easy a one-stopper from here. And now everyone kind of recalculating in their heads how they want to finish this race out. You start running this race in reverse. How do you get to the end? Pitting the earliest. Or maybe you want to try the overcut. I mean, the drop-off in pace is about 2 seconds.
I think it depends on how you're running at the time when you need to, when you need to come down pit road. If you're kind of slippy slidey on your tires and they're kind of falling off the good of them, I think you might want to come down. If you can continue on and manage the loose conditions, I think definitely then you might want to stay out. So it kind of depends on how these guys are driving, because a lot of guys are driving more aggressive at the beginning of the run, while a lot of guys are saving their stuff throughout.
The field rolling off of pit lane now, and a couple shakeups here to talk about, as Jeff Ward is beat off of pit lane by Timothy Johnston. So Johnston's going to pick up a track position spot. John Wilco stays out on the racetrack. And he's probably going to come in and probably just trying to pick up a point for leading a lap. Thomas Bressi all the way back at 18. So this is going to shuffle the running order quite a bit. And I imagine Yeah, looks like Thomas Bresci was either serving a speeding penalty or was fixing some damage because a 26-second stop for the 24 put him a ways back in the field.
26 seconds, I have to believe. I'm pretty sure that was just fixing damage.
All right, so far tonight we've had 4 yellows. We've had 11 lead changes, and it's been mostly led by the 89 of Jeff Ward. And in terms of retirements, we have Wendell Lowe, Brandon Key, Thomas George, Zach Buchanan, Travis McCushion, and Riley Thompson. And one driver did not start this event. That is the 21 of Nick Cohan. Everyone else still out on the racetrack running. Evan Adams has gotten one of his laps back. He's now 2 laps down instead of 3. Matthew, Herring, Chambliss, all 1 lap down. Pelletier as well. So Wilco still out front. We expect to see him hit pit lane. That'll turn the lead over to Timothy Johnston. Remember, his fuel finals ended early at Rockingham last year. And again, didn't win a race, but was awfully competitive.
And since we have some time on this caution before we go back green, don't we pull up Thomas Bresci? See him down on the Discord channel.
All right, we'll see if he's got a moment to chat with us real quick. Hey, Thomas Bresci, it's Kyle from SimTV. Got a copy?
What's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going for you so far? We saw you just repairing some damage. You're going to be restarting pretty deep in the field, but it looks like you got a fast car, so how do you get yourself back out front?
Hope the right side doesn't get can openered again, I guess. I'm fortunate. Luckily, there was only like 12 and a half seconds, and the first time I had to come up through the field, it wasn't too bad, but I don't know. It's so treacherous late in the runs. Like, I don't know if it was the damage or what, but like that last run, I was almost wrecking like 2 times per corner, every corner, for like the last 10 laps before that yellow came out. It's so on edge, but the motor's good, which is a good thing. Just it doesn't drive too good, but we'll see if we can make it back up there. We got a good piece if we can, though.
Can you change lines to kind of make that slippy slidiness go away, or are you pretty much stuck on the middle to bottom groove?
You can move. You can definitely move a bit. I would say like a little earlier in the run, it's easier to move. But I think later in the run, you definitely have to play with the throttle and the steering a little bit more, even if you try to like take like a wider line or something. It's so sketchy with the way these cars are right now. And again, I don't know if mine was just damage or what, but it's you can move around a little bit. But I mean, you saw kind of what happened once we got going there. So it just depends on how you drive, I guess, in the beginning too.
All right, we're going to let you get back to work, Thomas. Good luck out there. Bring it home in victory lane. We'll talk to you later.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Absolutely. That was Thomas Bresci driving the number 24 car tonight. And get him back in his channel. There we go. Thank you, Vinny. All right, John Wilco staying out on the racetrack, has not come to pit lane, pulling a Casey Lakatos. This didn't work for the 50. I don't think it's going to work for the 62 either. Predictions for the restart?
I think it's going to be very hectic.
Well, that's...
Wilco didn't come down...
And the sky is blue.
I kind of missed that. Did Wilco not come down at all?
No, Wilco's... he has not pit in the last 30 laps.
I sense a caution in the near future.
Okay, that's what I was asking. When you said it was hectic, I go, yeah, I know it's going to be hectic. I wanted you to predict what was going to happen. All right. Pace car pulls off. Wilco on 30-lap old tires out up front. Timothy Johnson in second. Green flag back in the air. This is going to be interesting.
Indeed it is.
Yep.
Green flag in the air as they come across the line. Here comes Timothy Johnson and Jeff Ward, and it looks like Wilco's going to back out of it on the inside, so Ward and Johnson are going to race it off into turn 1.
Side by side for the top spot. Wilco wisely gets out of the way. Ward drives to the inside lane. Johnson had the lead as they left pit road, but I don't think it's going to matter as Ward's going to almost be able to clear the 28, but a huge push from DeBarro's going to shove Johnson back out to the front.
Oh boy, DeBarro's going to be just a little bit careful here. This could easily send the 28 spinning. But DeBarro's still going to continue to push the 28, and let's see if he tries to make a power move to get around the 28 now.
Deeper in the pack, Bresci restarted 17th, working his way through some cars. He's going to go 3 wide up the middle. No, he's going to dive to the inside onto the apron on the front straight and get by Carl Schaff, that Red Bull number 3. But for the top spot, nose to tail for the lead, rather. Johnston, DeBarro, Ward, and Ewing in the 32. Behind him, side by side for 5th, Hensley and Quick.
Yep, and it looks like Quinn's going to lose out on that. He's going to get put back into 6th place. Ward looks like he's trying to make a move into Barlow. Actually, looks like he's going to be a little bit patient here, and so are a lot of guys. They're almost the single file out here.
I worry about this super single file stuff. Oh, Hensley slipping and sliding in turn 4. Does he save it? He does. Field scatters. I just worry about the single file nature of that because you kind of get that accordion effect when that starts to happen. Jared Paulson in the 60. He's not waiting around. Get him to the outside.
Yeah, he was hanging out quite a bit in that run. We saw him almost get involved. He actually did seem to get involved with a wreck earlier involving Liam Quinn. So both of them continuing on fairly well. As Paulson now make a move to the inside of Quinn.
Down to the inside in turn 3. Paulson on Liam Quinn. The top 3 nose to tail, but Bresci charging in that number 24.
Bresci wasting absolutely no time to get back to the front of the field.
So if you're wondering about Martinez and Lakatos scored in 25th, Martinez in 22nd, so they're kind of restarting their strategy here. As Hensley is fallen in line behind Tyler Quinn. Or excuse me, Tyler Quinn. Liam Quinn in the 04. Got my names all confused there for a second. And look at the 24 in the background, up to 10th, right in front of Colin Farnborough in the 5. And Justin Rodden trying to gain some spots back after losing some in the pits.
Yeah, but he's also going to get the inside of that 5, and now Vic Bloom now trying to make the inside move to Farnborough.
Jeff Ward all the way on the inside of the racetrack trying to attack Johnson and DeBarro, who are lined to stern up in the outside lane. 2 Toyotas working together. The Mustang on the bottom trying to take it away. Side by side to the lead, lap 56.
Yeah, Ward's nearly going to make the move. No, he can't. Can't slide up in front of Johnson. Johnson's still there, also with a hard charging DeBarro.
And DeBarro going to choose that outside lane again, the manufacturer lineup. And I believe teammates as well. As the 89 drives in deep, he might be able to clear the 28 this time through. Is he going to try? No, he won't.
Yeah, Dizzy Motorsports currently 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, with Shane Ewing being the new guy to the team and running very well up inside and 4th.
Top 5 all nose to tail together. Back in the background, look at Lakatos slicing and dicing past the 3-car of Schaff. And on the inside groove, he's going to try to find his teammate just up the road, 18th and 20th. These Sim Motorsports cars, they've been driving through the field all night tonight. They just haven't really been able to crack the top 5.
Yeah, I think they're beginning their charge a little earlier than we saw in the last round. I think trying to keep up with that lead pack, or at least keep them within distance.
And we're seeing a lot more green flag running than maybe even those drivers expected, so they're not going to wait around that long. Because we're going to get long green flag stretches. You want to strike while the iron's hot. Meanwhile, for the lead, Ward and Johnson still side by side as they come up off a 2.
And behind them, the 18 of Justin Guthrie fighting with Derek Paulson, as well as Bresci, who's just trying to navigate through these 2 guys.
I feel like the outside lane might prevail here, Finney, and once those tires start to wear out and get hot for the 89, I don't think he'll be able to hold that inside groove. But look at him get the great run through the middle of the corner, and he does clear the 28 and slides up right in front of him.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think even the outside lane is really that much better than the pretty much the inside lane once the tires are out. I saw a lot of guys running the outside and getting loose. So I think you kind of want to go for that middle groove, want to apex the corner and kind of diamond it in a way to kind of go middle from the high side to the low side back to the high side.
Playing with inches. Look at DeBarro. Inches off the bumper of Timothy Johnston. And maybe a slight push off into turn 3, but Ward still got the top spot.
Up and another guy who wants the top spot is Liam Quinn, as he makes a move to the inside of Shane Ewing.
And Bresci sitting there in 8th. He's been really good so far. Hensley dropping to the inside. Taking a look, I see that Grid Life car peeking into the picture. 14th place. Look at them charge through this field thing. I mean, we keep coming back to this fight, but I just can't believe how fast they're charging through the field.
Yeah, they're pretty much took a page out of Bresci's book and have been also slicing and dicing through cars and also been working together. We've pretty much only seen them both together for most of this race and doing a great job getting themselves up into the front of the field.
Oh, Dakota DiCienzo in the fence on the back straightaway. Will Roberts had a scary moment there, a little loose from a push from behind. Woody Mahan trying to recover his night. Ooh, sliding on the inside of Dakota DiCienzo. Calvin Filarski, haven't talked about him yet tonight. New paint scheme on board this car, looking really racy right now, but didn't have a great season last season. Just trying to find some luck. But he's got that car nice and clean. When you keep the car clean, the luck comes to you. Top spot, though, being contested. Johnston back to the outside of that 89.
Oh, big slip up from Ward. Almost got into Johnson.
Side by side as they fight for the lead here. Lap number 62 with Johnson and Ward. Two of the juggernauts from last season battling tooth and nail here at Michigan.
And just Disney Motorsports all pairing up on the outside or trying to freight train the 89.
Ward might try to slide up in this gap between the two teammates. And he's going to right there. He's going to jut in line. Oh, there's Shane Ewing popping out for a moment. And here comes DeBarro. He's not going to be content running third. He's going to dive to the inside of Ward and try to steal second spot back.
Yeah, Ward just surrounded on all fronts right now. He's got a Toyota in front of him, a Toyota beside him, and a Toyota behind him. Whoa, as DeBarro has a little bit of a slide.
It's a Mustang at a Toyota dealership. Look at Ward to the outside lane, trying to slot in the gap between the 28 and the fence. Couldn't do it.
Yeah, Ward's doing a great job just managing his own here. Hasn't fallen out of pretty much second, has been up there in first trying to fight with Johnson. As Johnson's sliding loose off of turn 2, he's going to go for a slide.
And does he save it? Oh, all the way halfway down the apron. Look at how far off the racetrack he is, but he will save it and slot back in line in 8th or 9th place. But a great save by that 28.
Yeah, scary moment for him. That could have been a lot worse. He's going to continue on, though.
Here's another look at that. Look how far off the racetrack he goes.
Oh, Casey Lakatos now loose off of turn 4. He's going to save it.
They'll drop a lot of spots, though. All those spots he just gained. There goes Don Rocco Jr. on by a big fight behind him. Almost 5 wide at the start-finish line. 4 wide as that's Will Roberts that's dropping on back. So the car's getting to that point in the run where they are very, very sketchy to drive. Bressy's up to 4th. Quinn and Hensley running nose to tail, but the top spot belongs to Jeff Ward for the time being.
Yeah, Bressy's slowly clawing his way up to the leaders. He wants to have a say in this fight. He wants to not miss in on the action.
Oh, DeBarro really putting the pressure on the 89, almost gave him a push off into the turn. And with how unsettled these race cars are, a slight push could throw you completely out of line. Oh, car high out of turn 2. That's Justin Rodden. Managed to hang on to it. And that is 13th place. That's battling between Rodden and Farnborough with Vic Bloom right behind. And the progress for the 54 has essentially stalled without the help of his teammates. So I think they were working together, giving each other draft, but without the one car there, the other's not going to be able to succeed. So the 50 car needs to pick his way back through the field. Hensley and Timothy Johnson swapping spots. Johnson's going to get the better of that 44. AC Shu popping into the picture as well. Running in 8th place right now.
Yeah, he's quietly emerged. He's had a fairly quiet day. Started in 15th, is currently in 8th, so just been inside the top 10.
Now that we're a couple laps into the run, you're starting to see drivers struggling with passing again. You see DeBarro stuck behind Ward. I think DeBarro is quicker, but again, he's stuck in that aero drag that the 89 is putting off that rear spoiler. You see them kind of fighting the steering wheels as well. This high downforce setup, you know, these race cars, you'd expect them to be easier to drive, and maybe in some cases they are, but I think today they're really, really loose and slippery, and all the downforce in the world isn't going to help that with a hot racetrack. Johnston back inside the top 5, making a pass on Liam Quinn. And Quinn's going to try to side draft to get back by him.
Ooh boy, and Johnson just shuts the door in front of Quinn. And he'll continue on to the next target, Thomas Bressie.
Lakatos back in 15th place on the inside of Rodden for 14th. Matt Bell up the road. Remember, he started up in 6th place. He's now back in 9th after having kind of a tumultuous day. Trying to get by Casey Shu. And dives to the inside in turn 3.
Oh, Bresci just had a wicked slide out of turn 4.
Wow. And wicked is the way I would describe that. These cars are so on edge tonight that whoever wins this race is going to be sweaty and exhausted by the time we talk to them.
For most of these guys just finishing the race, I mean, these guys are still battling each other and going all at it. I think most of the field should pat themselves on the back as we got a caution.
Oh, out of turn 4, it's Jared Matthew and Norm Pelletier. And for Pelletier, it's the third incident he's been involved tonight, but for Matthew, that car is a joke. That thing is destroyed. Take a look. I think we're going to see maybe the 56 slip again. Yep, already sideways in the corner, tried to chase it. And the 52 had nowhere to go. They get wadded up together and in the wall. Good news is, with everyone so spread out, didn't really cause any more accidents. So, only a 2-car incident here for our 5th caution of the night. With about 30 laps to go, what's the strategy? You can make it to the end on fuel from here.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just coming to the pits regardless. We had a pretty solid run in. I think a lot of guys were squirrely enough on their tires where they're going to want some new ones.
So now we've kind of covered the story of death, but Martinez and Lakatos, they've been dropping to the back every caution period. Do they chance it and just take 4 tires and fuel and come out where they come out this time?
Yeah, I think they need to come out as far up as they can. I think they can't afford to really get put back all the way, because I think if anything at this point they've done more damage to their tires using them up as much as they have been here. If they start up further, they're gonna have to put less work on those tires and can inch their way up even into the lead pack and challenge for the lead later on.
The field makes their way onto pit lane, and everyone's gonna do this here. 30 laps to go at the line. One final pit stop. If we run green to the end, they will not hit pit lane anymore. And in they come. So for Jeff Ward, this is a very important stop as well. The track position seems very, very important. So nail your marks on pit lane. Don't miss your box. Come out and top, and you'll be able to control the restart. Here comes DeBarro. And across the line, I think DeBarro was able to beat Ward. Slightly faster pit stop, slightly faster time on pit lane. Anthony DeBarro comes out as the leader. Ward, Ewing, Bresci, Hensley, Guthrie, Quinn, Casey Shue, Matt Bell, Alec Martinez, your top 10. We take a quick break for a quick breather. We'll be back in just a second. I need to grab a glass of water. Welcome back live to SimTV in the first round of the 2019 B Fuel Mission 22 Cup Series. My name's Kyle Heyer alongside Finney and DeCuna. We're 72 laps complete of 100 here tonight. Finney, we've had 5 yellows, but we've had some long green flag runs. Expectations and your pick at the end of this race to win, because I think the 28 of Timothy Johnson is not going to be your pick now. He's back in 19th for the restart here.
I think he still got it.
That's all you got?
I think he could still overcome it. I mean, we've seen Bresci, we've seen Martinez, we've seen Nakatis drive up to the field. I don't see why the 28 can't. I'm going to still remain with him as my pick.
All right, well, I'm going to take the 89 of Jeff Ward as the one to win this race. He hasn't been quite as aggressive as DeBarro in getting the lead, but I think he's going to crank that up to 11 here for the restart. My only concern is that everyone now, with the low number of laps left, they're kind of got the carrot dangled in front of them, and they're going to get a little bit crazier. We've seen the last few restarts be pretty orderly. I don't think we're going to see that this time through.
I think it's still going to be relatively orderly. I think it's a pretty long way for them to get all squirrely now. I think if anything, it's going to do more damage to them, and I think they all know that it's going to just wear out the tires more. So I think for the most part, we're going to see it see a pretty orderly start. I think, though, once we get inside 10 laps to go, I think that's really where we're going to start seeing it kick off.
Have you been to church lately?
Have I? No.
I was going to say you have a lot of faith. Navarro is going to choose the inside lane for the restart. I think the inside with this package is the way to be. I don't think the outside, you can really get enough momentum with the low power. So only 550 horsepower in these cars. It kind of chokes the engine down, and you want to be the shortest way around at least the first couple laps until you gain all that speed. Looking on back through the pack, there's a couple other cars you should keep an eye on. You mentioned Martinez and Lacatus. Martinez going to be restarting 10th, Lacatus in 13th. And that means actually 11th place for Lacatus. And that's a pretty good place for them to be with how fast they've climbed up through the field. They just got to climb up 10 more spots if they want to win this race. DeBarro is going to be your leader, though. And we're going to have just over 25 laps to go at the restart. Of course, this race and this series is sponsored by Mission 22. If you'd like to participate in helping the cause, there is a link provided in the description. And please take the time under this yellow or the next, if there is one, to take a look at those links and visit them and read about the Mission 22 story. We want to thank Don Runkle Jr. again for supporting the series as we roll out of turn 3 and 4. The pace car has about 33 cars still behind it, ready to go racing for the final 27 laps of this race. DeBarro, Ward, Ewing, Bressie, Hensley, your top 5. Dangle the carrot in front of him, and it's a green carrot. Green flags back in the air here at Michigan.
And a solid start for the inside lane. DeBarro and Ewing have taken off into the corner. Meanwhile, Ward is still trying to get up to speed. And Bressie, too. We've seen Bressie charge on multiple times. Here he is in the front. What has he got on that 24?
Look at Martinez way in the outside lane through 1 and 2. He's dropping back. I don't think something's wrong with the 54. Dropping way to the back of the field, maybe on purpose. But the 50 car, Lacatus, still in the fight. The teammates separated this time, but for the top spot, nose to tail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the line.
Oh boy, they're getting squirrely up here. Here we go. 3 wide for the lead.
4 wide for the lead.
DeBarro's sneaking loose.
Ward in the fence. I think he got a piece of the wall after all that. Gonna slow him up just a little bit. He's gonna get eaten alive here by the cars trailing him. We were still 3 wide for the top spot now. Hensley to the top spot with Shane Ewing on his outside lane. Camaro versus Camry. Here comes Bressie. Look at them flying through here. The JT Motorsports guys bump drafting on the back straight. Here they come to the top.
Yeah, they're working together now to try to get through Ewing. Ewing try to lead his first lap of the day. But it's going to be denied that for now, as Hensley's going to come out of turn 4 as the leader. Will be Bressie go at the line? It looks like it's going to be Hensley.
Jeff Ward took a hard left, as if Siri told him to change direction out of turn 4. Dove all the way to the apron to get to the inside of Matt Bell in the 77. Oh man, a huge swarm of cars at the front.
Yeah, this is a pack forming right here with the leaders. This can get ugly real fast.
Yeah, one slip up and the whole field's going to go down with it. Bressie still scored as the leader, but side by side with his teammate, Tyler Hensley. They have a stranglehold on the rest of the field. 3 wide behind him.
Yeah, there's the 28. Told you he's going to come back.
How did he get up this far this fast? Johnson up to 6th.
Up in the 5th by the time they get to the line. How about this?
Bressie threw a huge block on Ward, though. Oh, Wiggle! The 24 got a boot from the 89 off into turn 1, and look at this pack of race cars down into the corner. What a way to start the season.
Yeah, indeed. These guys are doing a great job here. I think they definitely learned the way this car is handling now and using that to their advantage.
Oh, man, the outside lane, 5 cars strong, pushing and shoving. We've got Ward on the inside all by himself. He's the lone Mustang at the front of this field. But look at him charge to the inside of Bressie. He'll take a taste of the lead on the front straight again.
And how about Woody Mahan, too? He's also in this leading pack. He was a lap down at one point. We saw him spinning off into pit road. He's back up here fighting for the lead.
Redemption has been the story of the day for some of these drivers. Through turns 1 and 2, coming up to 20 to go in just a few laps. Bressie has gotten the lead wrestled away, but Ward's got it now.
Up here comes Bressie now with the charge to the inside. Hensley can't follow through. He's stuck in behind Ward.
I can't hardly watch this. Through 3 and 4 again. 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. They go 2 wide all the way back to the pack. And Bressie just steals the lead away from the 89. Pushing, shoving on the front straight.
He's not done yet. Ward's gonna be in. Oh, he's gonna get side by side with Ewing. Ewing out of the inside of Ward. Can he get to the inside of Bressie? No, he can't.
There's no air in the middle where
here comes
27
DeBarro in the middle.
is. There's just got to be no downforce in there. Whoa. Oh man, 3 and almost 4 wide here on the back straight.
And Mahan almost made contact with Johnson, sending them both spinning, but they narrowly avoid contact. These guys are playing with inches at this point in time.
The 24 Bressie gets the lead taken away again by Ward. Ward is looking awful quick, but there's teammates lined up on the outside, teammates lined up on the inside, both teams trying to take down that 89. A swing across to the outside for the 89 car.
Oh, and here comes Bressie now looking up through the middle. Ward doesn't have the momentum. Bressie going to take the lead off into turn 1. DeBarro trying to follow in through.
All that stability issue we had all day long. It looks like these guys have been driving on just black tar. They're stuck to the racetrack right now as they try to make these moves. Bressie throws a block on the 27, and Ward pops out of line again.
Oh, 3 wide for a moment. Bressie almost came down on the 27. That could have been ugly.
Oh, here he's sliding! Contact between him and the 27. He's in the fence. Bressie hard in the wall as the field scatters with 20 to go.
It looks like everyone's going to avoid it, and Bressie, that's going to put him out of the race for now.
Oh, Ward in the fence. Or no, I think that was DeBarro that got in the wall, actually. The silver car out front. And for the 24, that's going to be not a great result. He's going to slide all the way back to 18th place, but we're not done fighting at the front of the field. Now Hensley doesn't have a teammate to work with. The Dizzy Motorsports cars have just got a stranglehold on the front of this, with the exception of Ward, who is lead this race with 19 laps to go, and now the intensity beginning to rise. I see those Sim Motorsports cars in the background as well. They're coming too.
Yeah, Ward was snaking up and down the front straightaway, DeBarro onto the inside of the 89. Ewing trying to follow his way on through. Note for Hensley and Quincy going behind.
DeBarro leads now as Ewing and Ward fight for second place. Ward got really close to the fence. That's the 77 of Matt Bell popping out of line. Matt Bell is 8th place right now, 0.3 of a second behind the leader as they fan out for turn 3.
Oh, it's going to get tight here. Oh, man, Hensley almost got into DeBarro. I see Ward sliding.
Oh, 4 wide. We're going to try 5 here. Dicey everywhere. Ward gets shuffled back. Licata is trying to take advantage of it. The 18 of Justin Guthrie at the back of this group as well. The 77 of Matt Bell on the inside of Mahan. And here comes Justin Rodden in the 0-1. Where did he come from?
Yeah, he's come out of nowhere. Whoa, Mahan and Bell almost made contact coming out of 2, but Rodden's still running up strong, trying to get himself back in this fight.
Shane Ewing out up front right now in that 32 in front of Anthony DeBarro, Timothy Johnson, Tyler Hensley, Liam Quinn. Look at this fight. The top 15 all this close together. Okay, let's just read this off. There are 10 cars within 1 second of each other on the racetrack right now.
That is not too surprising. Yeah, these guys been going at it. Sun's been setting. The track temp has dropped. It's 90 degrees on the track. And it's been continuing to fall as we put more and more laps down.
That explains why the grip level seems to be a little higher. Bressie all the way at the back of the pack now in 22nd, just trying to compete for what's left, the scraps of the day. Mahan out of line, trying to get by Hensley on the inside, but it's 3 Toyotas at the front of the field. Make it 4 now. And they're going to be really difficult to pass with 16 to go.
Oh, Licata to the inside of Bell, trying to make a 3 wide for a moment. Is not going to do anything with it. He's going to back out.
He's got teammate Art Martinez behind him as well. They've worked their way up through the field several times, but now is go time, I think. They have to figure out how to get through this pack. And this is going to be a lot harder to pass than the guys they already passed were. Oh, slip and slide.
Rodden and Bell.
Oh, look, Martinez gets caught up in it. Damage there as well. But Rodden in the fence, still no caution. He's still rolling. How was that not a caution?
Yeah, he was able to keep it going at a decent speed.
So we stay green here.
Oh, Liam Quinn, or sorry, not Liam Quinn, Justin Guthrie spinning off of turn 4 in the grass.
And we'll stay green there as well. So 15 laps to go. We've had several incidents, but we will stay green at the top of the field. It's Shane Ewing leading DeBarro, Johnson, Quinn, Mahan. The lone Sim Motorsports car, Licata, still left in the fight. He's 9th place. The lone JT Motorsports car, that's Tyler Hensley in 6th. He does have Casey Shue back in 10th place, but Mahan now popping out of line for 4th.
Oh, Mahan, he's starting to wiggle. Oh, man.
Chasing it up the racetrack. The tires were used up a lot in that first run, trying to stay off of each other. And now with 14 to go, these cars are going to start handling worse and worse, but the drivers are going to require more and more out of the car. Liam Quinn stepped out way up the racetrack and trying to get a run to get to the outside of Timothy Johnson.
Yeah, it's going to get interesting for these leaders up ahead. They're single file for now. I'm curious on how they're going to handle this race with Shane Ewing in the lead, DeBarro, Johnson, and Disney Motorsports 1, 2, 3.
I feel like you want to kind of save some stuff here. Save some tires so you have some maneuverability left at the end of the race. I don't think it's so much the speed drop-off that's the issue. I think it's the maneuverability, the fact that you can't change lanes mid-corner like you can at the start of a run. Ewing goes a little defensive down into 1, and DeBarro going to try to take this opportunity to drive around the outside lane, but he won't have enough of a run. Here comes
Ewing
Quinn.
loose off of 2. He's going to the apron.
Caution behind him.
Whoa!
And more cars in it. And Calvin Filarski spun around Lakatis.
Oh, Mahan went flipping through the air.
Hensley in it. Mahan torn up. Caution with 13 laps to go, and that's going to change the entire end of this race. Let's go back and see what happened. How did this... Oh, so Mahan was already sideways, and he's going to just correct in hard into the turn 2 fence, gets clipped by Hensley, and Lakatis just dives. He wasn't involved, and then the 77 of Matt Bell gets clobbered. Oh, Lakatis was able to get it locked down. Wow, that was...
Yeah, he got through.
That was impressive driving by the 50. And the 2, I think Filarski just got caught up in it. Just kind of spinning to miss it. Here's his view. Oh, he actually got hit from behind.
Yeah, he got hit by the 5 of Colin
Farnborough.
Fambro?
Or Fambro, you're right. So here's Tyler Hensley's view of the whole thing. Yeah, not much. Big hit for the 8. And we gotta run on board with Lakatis because he had quite the view of this whole thing. So you see the car slip up in front, correct? Wow. And locked up those brakes to miss it. What a great job that Lakatis did to get through. And he's 6th as they come down pit lane. So the sun is going down, the track is cooling off, 91 degrees. And into the pit lane. Does anybody dare try 2 tires, or is it just 4 all the way?
Oh, hell no. If I was a crew chief and you wanted to, if you took 2, I would get out there and smack you myself, because I think these guys need all the handling they can get. And I don't think 2 tires is going to cut it. You're going to want 4.
Well, looks like everyone's going to agree with Crew Chief Finian, as no one took 2 tires on that stop. And DeBarro's going to lead the race off pit road, but look at who is sitting 4th. I promise you folks, we're not biased to these Sim Motorsports cars. We actually have to pay them if they win, so I don't want them to win. But the way that they've been driving through the... I mean... don't let them hear that I said that. But let's just... They started at the back. They charged through the pack. They fell to the back again. They charged through the pack. Now he's running 4th after missing a wreck. This 50 car, this is an incredible run for him. Where's the 54? All the way back in 25th, fixing some damage. But for Lakatis, this is played out exactly how he wants it. The sun going down, though, Finian, the track cooling off, and the intensity picking up.
Yeah, and since we're getting into territory where this is probably gonna come into play here, there are green-white checkers enabled for this league, and guess how many we have?
Infinite?
Damn it! I was hoping you actually guess the number. Yeah, we have unlimited
Well,
green white checkers. But hang on.
Okay.
I do got to explain a little bit of a caveat here into that. So there is a time limit for this race, and if we go green all the way, that shouldn't come into play, as we got about 60 minutes as of right now. So, but if it does come down to green white checker, we're going to take as many as we need until the time limit runs out.
Good to know. Well, Finian, this race has been spectacular so far. A great way to start off the season. We've had 6 yellows. It hasn't really felt like that, though. 18 laps of caution, which is honestly not that many in the 91 laps we've run so far. Look at the lead changes. 27 in 91 laps. That's a lead change almost every 3 laps. So that is really, really impressive stuff.
I think that was pretty much on par with what you were saying if we went green all the way.
Didn't I say like 25 to 30?
Yeah. Yeah, you said about that number, so you're pretty on point there.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty good at this. I've done it a couple times. But this is really going to shake some things up here at the end of the race. So we got Lakatos going to start right behind DeBarro. So the outside line is going to be DeBarro, Lakatos, Vic Bloom, Casey Shu, Sam Crow. On the inside, I totally said that completely wrong. Don't listen to me. You know, that's right. Yeah, I'm just confused. The inside lane is going to be Shane Ewing, Timothy Johnson, Jeff Ward, Colin Fambro, and Liam Quinn. So I was just getting confused because the leader, I don't think that DeBarro would take the outside lane, but he might here on the restart. Maybe not, because his teammate will be on the inside. We'll see what he does here as we come to the green. We're going to get 1 lap to green before we restart this race. The ticker is going to go purple, and we'll have an 8-lap run to the end. Still taking that 28?
Yeah, I am, definitely am. I think he just proved that I don't count it out. I'm still amazed. Even I'm amazed, too, because I was just kind of looking at the back, and I just saw him making a 3-way move to the inside. I was like, oh, there he is. So I'm going to stay with him all the way through the end.
Well, this has been probably one of the best season opening races I think we've seen on the network in a really long time. We've had a little bit of everything. Only the first couple wrecks were large ones. The rest were just a couple incidents with some loose cars. I don't think we've had any car-to-car contact causing wrecks tonight. I think it was just people getting loose.
Yeah.
Which is really good to see in the first race of the season. So there's a lot left to come. Hey, and we go road course racing next week in Sonoma, California, and we know that that's going to be a good race. And I think all the viewers know that we love road course racing. And we're going to go to the Sonoma racetrack next week at 9 p.m. and it'll follow very, very, very closely after the conclusion of the Indy Elite Series from Gateway next Tuesday on the 20th. So coming to the green, 8 laps to go. I don't know if I have to adjust my money, but I picked Jeff Ward earlier. I think I'm going to stick with that. But that 50 car has got my eye as well if these front couple distract each other. Coming to the green, 8 laps to go. The pace car is going to peel off. DeBarro, Ewing, and the rest of the field behind him. 29 cars left on the racetrack, and green flag in the air. 8 to go.
Yeah, the Disney Motorsports guys playing that to perfection as they're off and underway. Jeff Ward and Lakatos caught in the dust. And the top 3 single file out into turn 1.
It's getting pretty dark out there as well, Finney. How does visibility come into play at all with some great cars like DeBarro's blending into the racetrack? That's going to slow down your reaction time maybe just a little bit. And look at Johnson shoving that 27, and look at Ward popping out of line.
Yeah, no, there definitely is something to say about the visibility, especially when these guys are so close, it can really catch you out. But Ward to the inside of Johnson, he's wasting no time trying to get to the front.
He's forcing his way to the front, right on the bumper. No! Hard to the fence! Big crash, and across the racetrack goes the 89 up on his lid, and the 28, big impact. Vicious crash. And somehow we get through the rest of the field without tearing up everybody else. But Johnston destroyed. Wow. Let's go back, take a look. What started this incident here? I'm going to imagine we're going to see from up above. The 89 and 28. The 89 got loose on the inside. That's really what did him in. Nothing other than just a quick laps there for the 89 in terms of control. You're going to see it right here. You see the wheels jerk to the right, and then big hit. And I think Lakatos got a piece of that. Liam Quinn, the 89 got turned over. Wow. Big impact. There's another view right on board the 89. This is all in slow motion here. You see him just that little jerk to the left, and that's all that it took. Then up on his side through the grass. And drivers at the back of the field. Here's Don Runkle's view. As the 89 slid back across the racetrack, and Bresci on the brakes maybe clipped the back of the 60. A dramatic wreck here in the late stages of this race. All right, well, your pick is out, Finian, so pick a new one.
I was gonna say both of ours are out. What do I like? You know what? Shane Ewing. I think he's gonna get his first one.
Okay, well, that's a decent pick. Lakatos has some pretty big damage on that left front. We'll see if he comes down to pit road to fix that. I think at this point, I might as well just try to stay out as long as the steering wheel's straight, which looks like it's off a little bit. It might be. But, okay, you picked the 32. I'm going to just, I feel like it's a cop-out to go with DeBarro, so I'm going to go with Vic Bloom, who's running third. And Vic Bloom has had kind of an interesting race. He's run as high as second. Started 24th tonight, so he's come through the pack quite a ways. And sits
he's been up and down the order all night. But, yeah, here he is in third where it matters. We'll see if he's got any surprises as the leading Ford Mustang.
Well, he's got that 99 also has a lot of dirt on it, so he might have had a trip through the grass or two. Casey Shue sits 5th, Liam Quinn 6th, Colin Fambro sits 7th, Sam Crow in 8th, I believe, or 9th rather. That's a rookie in that number 0 car. Got the old Crow speed shop on the side of that car. Nice looking paint scheme on that gold number. It looks really good. And of course the yellow rookie stripes on the back bumper. You said earlier how it might not really affect people's perceptions. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but if you're running inside the top 10 at the end of one of these things, I think you kind of have to respect each other. A couple other rookies behind him, Marshall Stanley, Carl Schaff, Coda DiCienzo, a couple others sprinkled throughout the field as well. Checking in our conditions, down to 87 degrees. The clouds that were over the speedway have kind of relinquished for now, which means that the visibility is back a little bit better. We've got some sunlight on the racetrack, but the sun is going down. We are running out of daylight here. We only have 5 laps to go. Yeah,
we have 8 minutes left in the session, so... I'm kind of curious. I don't know what's going to happen if the time runs out under caution with a green-white checkered. So I'm actually kind of curious about this as well. We still have enough time to get through regulation time. If we get the restart and go green to the end. But if a caution comes out, I don't know if we'll have enough time for green-white checkered, or if we can still do a green-white checkered. So that's a little bit up in the air.
Oh boy. Well, let's just hope we get it done under green all in one go, and we won't have to worry about it. And we're going to re-rack him, restack him. Now, for DeBarro, what lane does he pick now to give himself the best advantage? Maybe the outside this time? He's got a teammate on his inside, so there's not really much of a reason not to do that. We'll see.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to pick. I mean,
I don't think Ewing wants the inside line. And now the 27. They're debating it right now, trying to figure out what lane he wants to choose. Looks like he's going to elect for the outside lane for the restart.
Yeah, and Ewing's going to take the inside. Then it's going to be Vic Bloom, Lakatos, and Casey Shue rounding out your top 5.
Lakatos, again, has a lot of damage on that car, but at this point, it doesn't matter. You're just going to run it till it blows up, run it till the tire falls off, whatever you have to do. Best case scenario for the 50 is that he's able to hold his position and the cars in front of him wreck. But there's a lot of damaged cars in this field. It's not just him. There's quite a few that have bent up machines. So of the 30 or the 40 cars that started tonight, we have 27 of them running on the racetrack. So the attrition rate as of late has risen just a little bit.
Yeah, and also I'm interested in seeing how the start plays out because the track is coolest I've seen it so far in this race at 86 degrees.
Yeah, it continues to drop.
So we're going to see guys all over the place, I think, as we saw on the last restart, and all you got to say is, oh boy. I'll be amazed if we don't have to use a green light checker.
Yeah, I think we might have to use at least one, and again, the time running low, so there'll probably only be one if it is. Pace car pulls off. DeBarro, Ewing, Lakatos, Vic Bloom, Liam Quinn, your top 5. And green flag is about to drop for the final 3 laps of the Mission 22 Cup Series inaugural race at Michigan. Racing again with 3 to go.
And a great start for the Disney Motorsports guys. Of course, those guys communicating with each other, but it might come back to bite them here as Bloom's going to get a big run.
3 wide for 5th place behind. This is going to get tight out of turn 2. Liam Quinn trying to find a place to run behind Lakatos. Lakatos is slow with the damage. There's Casey Shue in the 4, and the field's scattering on the back straight. We have to make it 2 more laps.
How about Will Roberts on the inside challenging up here in the top 5? Where did he come from?
Where did Will Roberts come from? You're right. Will Roberts running 5th right now. The 4 car up the racetrack. He's going to be split 3 wide. Here comes Fambro. 3 wide for 2nd place. Here comes Vic Bloom. Blocked by the 32 to the bottom of the racetrack.
Oh boy, 2 laps to go as they come across the line, and everyone's going all sorts of places. Here comes Will Roberts. 3 wide for the lead.
Goodness, if we make it back to the start-finish line, all these guys deserve the trophy. 3 wide. Maybe try 4 for the lead. Will Roberts to the top spot at the bottom of the racetrack. Here comes the 32 of Ewing to the outside.
Yeah, well, Roberts not clear out of the 32. He's going to slide just in front of Vic Bloom. He almost gets turned off of the 99 car.
Everyone trying to find room to race. Can we get back to the white flag? There'll be 1 lap to go. 3 wide. We're going to try 4 again out of turn 4.
Oh boy, contact between DeBarro and Vic Bloom. DeBarro giving a big shove to Ewing. White flag in the air. We're going to race it back to the line.
White flag. 1 more time around at full speed here at Michigan for the first race of the 2019 B Mission 22 Cup Series. 3 wide again for the top spot. DeBarro noses ahead in turn 1.
Can he do anything, though? Will Ewing help him? Here comes Liam Quinn with a big run on Roberts. Where does he go? He's going to try to shoot for the middle. Roberts does the block.
Casey Shue shuffled out of line. Push, shove for the Disney Motorsports cars. The 39 of Roberts shuffled out. DeBarro has the top spot. Does anybody have anything left? Vic Bloom slipping, sliding up the racetrack in turn 4. Roberts is going to have a run. Here comes Liam Quinn in the 04. To the start finish line. Nose to tail. 3 wide for 2nd, but it's going to be DeBarro by 67 thousandths of a second.
Man, what a good finish there. Props on these guys for making it back there without bringing out a caution. That was amazing that they didn't.
I can't believe we got all the way around the racetrack without having a crash. 3 times, not only just once or twice.
Yeah, and the gap between Roberts and Quinn for 2nd and 3rd, 3 thousandths between them. How about Roberts coming out of absolutely nowhere?
Will Roberts to finish second. Wow. We will go back and watch replays of that finish, so don't fret. But what a spectacular result. Holy cow. That was one of the craziest finishes I think I've seen. And for DeBarro, from last year's champion to the winner of the first race of the season, he'll just continue what he's been doing. Mission 22 Cup Series winner, Anthony DeBarro. He's going to burn it down to the start-finish line.
Yeah, definitely earned this one. He's been up in the front of the field all race long. A lot of guys have come, a lot of guys have gone, but this 27 was always in the front where it mattered.
I thought I heard another car doing burnouts, but I guess that was just the 27 making it loud, and he's going to pound the quarter the fence there. But let's go back and watch this replay of this finish. That was absolutely insane as they came across the start-finish line. I don't think I've seen a race like that finish like that probably ever. I think we've almost always had a huge collision at the end that kept us from having a result like that. Here is a look at the result. We're going to watch this in slow motion just so that we can see everything that happened. Coming out of turn 4, look at this hornet's nest to the start-finish line. The 50 and the 43 pushing and shoving each other behind.
These teams that went flying through the grass came across in 6th.
And there is your 67 thousandths of a second, and right behind Roberts and Quinn, 3 thousandths of a second between them for that spot. Incredible action. I just can't get over how spectacular that finish was. And then you mentioned the 50 and the 43 getting together in the background there on the right side of your screen. Through the grass, took 6th place. Some more close battles behind as well. We got to get some more of these across the line as they all come through. There was a crash in turn 4. I didn't see who it was, and honestly, it didn't really matter as the field come into the checkers. Spectacular stuff. So we'll jump back live here and pick up your race results. Of course, it was Anthony DeBarro by 67 thousandths of a second over Will Roberts, then Liam Quinn, Shane Ewing coming 4th, Lakatos 5th, Dakota DiCienzo through the grass for 6th, Fambro 7th. 10 cars within a second, and the top 13 within 1.5 seconds. That is a phenomenal close finish here. Scroll through the rest of the order. Bressie rebounded for 13th. That was a good result for him after all that he went through. Timothy Johnson back in 28th along with Jeff Ward. Those guys did not finish the race, unfortunately, with their crash damage. Woody Mahan back in 30th after his issue. And everyone from here on down did not finish the race due to crash damage. Zach Buchanan out early, as well as Thomas George. We're going to jump to break momentarily. We'll be back with your winner and several others in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back live to Sim TV, here now with 5th place finisher Casey Lakatos, who finished 5th and his number 50 Toyota Camry. Casey, you had a wild night tonight. Just walk us through your night and that insane, crazy finish and how you played a part in that those last few laps.
So, in the final laps, we were feeling really good about our car. We're strong really between 20 and 50 when we had to make that early pit stop. Luckily, the caution came out. Didn't get us too far down. Really just wanted to hang out, wait until about lap 75, 80 or so, get rolling, and we've missed a couple big ones there right at the end, slamming on the brakes. I don't even remember which lap that was, but squeezing by nonetheless. And our car, we just kept, I'm going to share a strategy, but kept the fuel just a little lower, trying to tighten that car up just that little bit, and it was like on rails. I mean, Sim Motorsports car was flying tonight, and just happy to get this Yoda up to the front for 5th place for the first race of fuel.
When you talk about teammate strategy, typically you reserve that for a place like Daytona and Talladega, but how effective, I mean, does it really work that well? Because could you have done that without the 54 of Alec Martinez with you that whole time?
I know Alec was fighting the car a little bit loose, and with my car being tighter, it was better that I was out front. It did help quite a bit. I was getting door to door with some of those guys when I was coming out of the corner. They were getting the run on the high side. And with him behind me, even though he was about a car length and a half back, just the air, it was helping me push forward. And it was helping him pull past him too. So it was actually pretty helpful even on this 2 mile.
All right, well, Casey, great job tonight in that number 50. A top 5 for your first start in fuel. Not too shabby. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Talk now with Dakota DiCienzo, or actually, no, Shane Ewing. Sorry, in the number. Is that how you say that name? That name, Shane? Is it Ewing or is it Ewing, or how do you say that?
No, Kyle, you got it right. Ewing is
Perfect.
Correct.
That's how I was saying it all night, so I'm glad I got that right. Well, Shane, a 4th place finish in your 32. Looked like you might have had a chance to win the thing at the end. Walk us through those last couple laps and that restart.
Yeah, this is my first race here with the fuel guys. I made a small mistake. I had my teammate behind me. If I'd have stayed in the middle, I probably would have won the thing. But Anthony's been such a big help to me. Him and Nick Cohan and Tim Johnson, all of them made me such a better racer in the last year. They asked me to come over here and to be able to run up front with them and really had a good time here tonight. If you told me I'd have finished 4th before we started, I'd have been happy. But after that last lap, I'm a little disappointed. I think I kind of gave that one away.
Starting the season off in Michigan, then we head to Sonoma next week. Road courses, you like them, you hate them, indifferent to them? What are you expecting for next week?
I'm middle of the pack because I know I'm not very good there, so I just try not to make mistakes. And usually, if you do that, you're going to finish in the top 15 most times. So that's I'll put my practice in and try and get just good enough to get to an oval the next.
All right, Shane. Hey, thanks for talking to us. Welcome to Fuel and Sim TV, and good luck next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me. You guys did a great job.
Thanks, Shane. Have a good night. All right, next we're going to talk to Dakota DiCienzo, who finished 6th tonight through the grass. They didn't put a snowplow on it, but it looked like you were plowing up some grass there. Dakota, walk us through your race, because it was kind of a wild one. And then P6 for you at the end. You got to be pretty happy with that.
Oh, yeah. Really happy with that. I didn't qualify because I didn't really feel comfortable with the car and the setup. So I just wanted to keep it safe. Didn't really expect a top 10 finish. And yeah, now I'm here.
Looking back at that restart, it was kind of chaotic with everyone going 2 and 3 wide. Had things gone differently, do you think you probably could have snuck away a victory with how aggressive those guys up at the front were being?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There was some stuff that happened to me earlier in the race that could have definitely helped me, like, on the last restart. And
then looking ahead to next week at Sonoma, road course racing. Not everyone's cup of tea necessarily, but of course you're racing over in the Indy Elite Series that does some road racing as well. So is that something you're going to embrace, or is that something that you're circling on your schedule and maybe not looking forward to?
I'm not much of a road racer. I don't think I'll be able to attend that race because I'll be at Indy Elites because it's on a Tuesday next week.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think we got to do both those races, so I sure hope that we can make both of them.
Oh, but maybe I will be here.
Yeah, I think the schedule will work out that they'll be pretty much back to back. So, hey, Dakota, great job. 6th place, first race of the season. Good luck if we do see you next week.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Have a good night, guys.
You too. We'll talk now with Will Roberts, who finished in second tonight by 67 thousandths of a second. Where did you come from to get yourself in position at the end? That was wild. Walk us through your last couple laps.
I'm not supposed to be here. You're not supposed to be talking to me. But I don't know. That was I'd been messing with some stuff. I'd been riding around for most of the race, and we got around to the end, and the crew didn't fuel up the car there the last couple pit stops. Just took tires, try and get the grip in it and tighten it up a little bit because it was wicked loose tonight. But it stuck so good. I figured it would handle a little better, but I did not expect it to stick that good at the end. I don't know what I'm supposed to be saying here. I'm not supposed to be here, man.
You know, when we were talking about those last couple laps and Finney goes, there's Will Roberts, I said, what? Where did he come from? Because you'd be kind of lingering around 20th, 25th, and, you know, and not that, you know, we don't expect you to be up near the front, but a second place result, I think that's your best that I've seen, at least on Sim TV. So congratulations on that. But what puts you in that position? I mean, those last couple laps, and you had to put yourself in and keep yourself in second. You didn't get gifted it. So just walk us through that last lap and slicing and dicing to get yourself in that spot.
So there was one run earlier in the race where I was riding around about 15th, and I was on the radio with my teammate Brandon Key, who unfortunately he fell out of the race early. And I knew all along I had top 10 speed. I never really quite liked the handle of the car. I don't think a lot of guys out here did, but I knew I had at least top 10 speed. But we get there to the end, and I make it through that last wreck, and I'm in 8th, and I'm like, okay, well, we're going for it. And I got a good restart. I was able to get behind Casey Shue, and get a little draft off him, and just stuck to his inside down into turn 1. And I just stuck it down on that yellow line and just hugged it all the way around, and it gripped, and that's all I can say, man. It just gripped.
It just gripped. Second place by 67 thousandths of a second for Will Roberts. Congratulations, Will. We'll see you next week.
Thank you. See y'all next week.
All right, and last but certainly not least, we're going to bring in Anthony DeBarro. Well, the winning ways continue for the 27. Anthony, just walk us through. I mean, that last restart was hectic and chaotic, but you managed to sneak your way through with teammates and friends and foes alike. Talk to us about those last couple laps, and how did we get to the end without a caution?
I don't know. It was a good job there in the last restart by everyone. I just kind of, I just went where there was holes, and I knew I needed to not be on the way outside because the cars just don't carry enough speed up there. So I just went for the middle, and luckily I was able to get pretty much clear off of 2 there, and Shane gave me a good shot. So thanks to him, I wish he would have stayed lower off 4 coming to get the white because he would have won that race, no doubt. But that was pretty much just luck there. I mean, I don't think the driver had too much input there. I think it was just the seas clearing the way, and we were lucky to have our luck continue from last season.
As you move into this season, of course, a lot of success that you had last season. Does the momentum feel like it's already or still rolling from earlier this year, or is this something completely different? And with a new group of teammates, is that affecting anything as well?
Yeah, because the car is relatively the same. I think we'll see how the season rolls. I'm hoping to be a lot more consistent this year and not have a rocky way, but I know some of these tracks like this is pretty much you're going to be pretty lucky and you're going to get caught in some wrecks. So we'll see what happens to the rest of the year. I know we're locked in the playoffs now, so we don't have to worry about stressing that. And we'll just go to Sonoma and try to gain another 5 points going into the playoffs there.
Absolutely. Hey, Anthony, congratulations. Great race there, and good job by all your teammates as well. We'll see you next week at Sonoma.
Thank you, guys. Good job up there tonight.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, Finian, that was a spectacular first race. Is there any way we can top that even with road racing next week?
Oh, honestly, it's going to be kind of hard. I was a little bit concerned with the way this race started with the few cautions we had. Once you started going green, some fantastic racing, and that finish also, too. Great job, as DeBarlo said, too. Just fantastic job by everyone there keeping it clean. They easily could have wrecked and we could have been forced into overtime, but everyone kept relatively calm. Kept it off of each other, and we had a fantastic finish to the end. And if they can keep this up all season, we're in for a hell of a season for Field.
There are some races that just go down in the league history books as some of the best, and I think this clearly notches itself on that belt. Heading to road racing next week, though, Finian, I think we got to put our eye on the 24 of Thomas Bressi potentially as a driver that can win there, but who else is on your eye?
I think definitely. Could you repeat that? There? Sorry, I zoned out for a second.
Wow, nice. Glad to see that you're paying attention. We head to the Sonoma next week, and road racers.
Oh,
I got Thomas Bressi. Who you got?
I'm trying to think of from my mind. We don't really go to road courses that much for these guys. I'm trying to remember if DeBarro did well at the road courses because I think he's definitely going to be up there.
Well, Scott Eckridge swept them also, in case you're wondering about that.
Yeah, unfortunately can't pick him.
All right. Well, I guess we'll sort it out for next Tuesday. Next Tuesday's race is going to be right after the Indy Elite Series from Gateway, and we'll have Finian starting that stream next week. I'll join about 15 minutes in. We'll see you next Tuesday, the 20th at 9 p.m. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for being here on SimTV on a Tuesday night for the Mission 22 Cup Series. Again, if you want to donate to the cause for Mission 22, check out the link provided in the description. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week.